welcome back. It's your girl Katie here, and today's video I'm finally going to be doing my eyeshadow declutter video. So I'm in front of my dresser drawers here, and this is where I keep my palettes. So let me show you what I'm working with. So it has 3 drawers, but I only have palettes in the first 2. So let me show you what I'm working with today. Oh gosh. Alright, so I know my camera angle is not the best, but you get the gist of it. I have palettes all in here. And then my second drawer has some. Not very many, but still some in here. So I'm going to be going through these 2 drawers today, and because this dresser is so long, just to make it easier on myself, I'm just going to pull them out and set them like on top of the dresser and then go through them that way just to make it easier on myself. But before we get on into this video, there's a couple of disclaimers that I need to get out of the way, so let me go through them real quick. So number 1, this is not going to be a cutthroat declutter. I'm only going through and decluttering what I'm not using or liking, basically. I don't think I have any expired palettes in this drawer, but if I do, yeah, I'll be tossing them. And number 2, anything that I declutter today will be being passed on to either family or friends or donated locally, so everything is spoken for. But yeah, that's all I need to say, so let's just get on into this declutter. Alright, so here are all my palettes on this dresser drawer here. You can't see all of them because there's the camera, that's just not, I can't get them all in shot, but I'll just go through these first and then I'll just bring the others over. So yeah, let's just get started. I don't have any particular order of how I'm going to do this. I'm just going to pick a palette and tell you guys whether or not I'm keeping it. So first up, I have 3 here from Natasha Denona. This is the Ayana palette. This one is Cupid. And then we have Peak here. I'm keeping all 3 of these. I do really like these, and they're just cute little palettes, so keeping. Then we have this Transition palette from Dominique Cosmetics. I think I bought this one off of like the BoxyCharm pop-up whatever thing. Yeah, I kind of regret buying this. I think I was just kind of like, oh, I like Dominique Cosmetics, so I should have every palette of hers that I can get my hands on at an affordable price. But actually looking at this, I really don't think I would reach for this. I don't know. I'm really torn about this one. Like, I kind of want to keep it, but because I haven't used it, and I feel like, oh, I spent money on it, so now I need to keep it. But then at the same time, I don't know what I was thinking, and I probably should just pass this on because it's all mattes. And I am not a big mattes only type of gal, and that's why I really don't know what I was thinking. I was thinking maybe, I think my thought was, if I get this, I'll just use the mattes, and then I can just use shimmers that I have, like single shadows. I don't know. I think I'm just going to go ahead and pass this on, just because I haven't touched it yet, and I know I could pass this on to a family member, and they would enjoy it, so passing. Also, I did not count them all up because I didn't want to, because I know I have a lot, so I'll tell you how many I'm keeping and getting rid of at the end, but yeah, I don't know how many I'm starting out with. Alright, Ciate London. This is the Editor's Palette. Here's what it looks like. I'm keeping this one. I do really enjoy it. It works pretty well. So yeah, keeping. Persona Identity 2 palette. I'm keeping. I was thinking about it, but yeah, I think I would miss this one, so keeping. Alright, next up from Makeup Revolution, this is the Corpse Bride palette. I'm keeping this because I only bought this just because I really like the Corpse Bride, the movie, so it's kind of like a collector's thing for me. Because, like, the actual palette is really pretty. It's pretty big, but this is definitely not like my color story. These are very bright, but I just think this palette is really pretty, and it's nostalgic for me. I really like the movie, and yeah, I couldn't pass up on it. So keeping. Tarte. We have a Tarte palette here. This is the Sunrise palette, I think is what it's called. It's one of their clay palettes. I'm keeping this. I really like the look of this. It's beautiful neutral shades. Yeah, keeping. Alright, House of Lavatories Glam Room in 1 palette, I think is what it's called. I think I can pass this one on. It is a nice looking palette, but to be completely honest, I have several palettes in my collection that look just like this. And I am trying to keep my collection somewhat down, you know, attempting to. But anyways, I'm going to pass this one on. I don't know how to say this name. Is it Ethra, something beauty? That's all I know. This is the Desert Sunrise palette, I think is what it's called. No, Desert Sunset palette. Yeah, I'm going to pass this one on. I just don't need it. And the colors in here are nice, but again, they look very similar to other palettes that I have that I know I like more. So yeah, I'm going to pass this one on. Alright, I have two big palettes here from Colourpop that I'm not getting rid of. So I'm keeping the Stone Cold Fox palette. Here's what it looks like, just for reference. And then I'm keeping the Bare Necessities palette, one that I really like. Yeah, so keeping both of those. Alright. Then we have this Lorac Unzipped Bronze Brazen palette I'm going to keep. Then I also have the Lorac Unzipped Unfiltered palette, which again I'm going to keep. So keeping both of those. Alright, so I have three here from Iconic London, and I'm going to be keeping all three of these. So first up is Desk to Dance. I don't know why it's called that, but anyways, keeping. Very pretty palette, keeping. This one is the Sunset to Sunrise palette, and here's what it looks like, keeping. And then the Day to Slay palette, also keeping. Alright, so moving on with three other big palettes that I have. I'm trying to get the big ones out of the way. So I have two here from Violet Voss. I'm keeping both of these. This is the Holy Grail palette and then the Taupe Notch palette. So here's the Holy Grail. Really pretty palette. Perfect for, like, I don't know, I feel like this one's a good fall and kind of winter palette because it has like those nice cranberry shades that just kind of remind me of like winter time. And then the Taupe Notch palette. This one's really, really nice. I really like it, but because Violet Voss I think has really good quality, but this one is very, very cool toned, and I'm not sure how I feel about it yet. I don't always feel like cool toned eyeshadows look the best on me, but I don't know. I'm gonna keep playing around with this one, but I wouldn't be surprised if I don't get it to work for me that I would be passing it on someday. Alright, an old palette here. This one is getting old. This is the Jaclyn Hill palette from Morphe. Their collaboration together. This is the very first one. Not like first made ever, but this is like the older one. I think they changed maybe the packaging. I heard they changed the formula, but this is like the original formula, I guess. Yeah, I'm keeping it. I'm attached to this palette because this is like the very first ever palette that I bought. Back in the day when I was first getting into makeup, I found Jaclyn Hill's channel, and that's where I basically learned how to do makeup. It was kind of from her. Anyways, keeping. This is just kind of like one that I'll probably always keep. Next up, Ciate London, a little mini here, I guess. I don't know. This doesn't have a palette name. It's just called the Nine Shadow Palette something. I don't know. I'm going to keep this one. It's super cute, and I really like these little cute little palettes. They're just kind of simple and easy to use. So keeping two that I think I can pass. These are both from Catrice Cosmetics. Now, there's nothing wrong with the quality, I don't think, with these. But these are just palettes that I can't see myself reaching for that much, just because I have so many other palettes with the same kind of color story. So this one's the Basic Bay palette, so I'm going to pass that one on. And then this one is the Pro Neon Earth palette, I guess. It's Pro Slim Eyeshadow Palette, whatever. Here's what it looks like. This one is really pretty, I will say, but I don't know. I just know I wouldn't reach for it over other ones, and I don't want it just to sit and rot in my collection here. So I'm just going to pass it on to family and friends who I know will get some good use out of it. Alright, so a heads up, I have a lot of Colourpop palettes, and I will probably not get rid of any of them. I don't think. I love Colourpop palettes. They're some of my favorite. And yeah, they're kind of, I collect them at this point. But anyways, so I'll just go through them slowly. I'm not going to go through them all at once. I'll just go through some and then move on to other stuff and then go through more Colourpop palettes. But anyways, let me get these out of the way. So I have the Child palette, I think is what it's called. Yeah, the Child palette. It's Star Wars Mandalorian Keeping. Super cute. Then I have the Secret Admirer palette. Also Keeping. Next up is Glow Getter palette. Keeping. The Hocus Pocus Witching Hour palette. Keeping. Wild Nothing palette. Keeping. And then Sweet Talk palette. Also Keeping. Alright, then we have here one from Dido, I think it's called. Dido Venus palette. I'm going to keep this one. This one's just a fun looking palette in my opinion. It's really pretty, so Keeping. Next up, I have something here from Phase Zero. This is the Necessities eyeshadow palette. I'm going to pass this one on. I don't even think I've tried this one. I don't think I have. But, I don't know. It's a nice neutral palette, but I don't know. The shades just don't really speak to me. So, yeah. I have plenty of other neutral palettes, so I'm going to pass this one on. Alright. Then we have another Tarte palette here. This is the something, I don't know. I don't know which one this one is. I can't find the name. Anyways, I'm going to keep it. It's a nice, simple, neutral palette, and I do like the look of it, so I'm keeping. Alright, I have a couple of Too Faced palettes, and I'm going to keep both of them. So the first is the Chocolate Bar palette. Keeping just because, well, it's a nice looking palette, but mostly because I know I can't get this anymore, and if I were to get rid of it, I'd probably regret it, and then, yeah, no getting it back, so keeping. And then the Pretty Rich Too Faced palette, which, again, I'm just kind of keeping because I like the look of it. Also, you can't get it anymore, so, yeah, keeping. Alright, we're probably about halfway done. Visa Art palette here. I don't know the name of it. I'm going to keep this one. Although this is a matte only palette, I do want to keep at least one or two matte only palettes. And the Visa Art is really nice quality, so yeah, keeping. Also going to be keeping these two right here. This one's Huda Beauty Topaz Obsession palette, and then this Ophir one here, which is called the Signature palette. So here is what the Topaz one looks like, and then the Ophir one. Which, to be completely honest, I could see myself passing this one on someday, but it's newer to my collection. I think I got it in a BoxyCharm box recently, and I still want to play with it a little bit more before I pass it on. Alright, two more bigger palettes that I know I'm going to be keeping. So first up is from Lunar Beauty, Nude Prism palette. Definitely keeping. It's a very beautiful palette. And then the Ciate London one here, and it's called Woman Power. Keeping as well. It's another beautiful, beautiful palette. Keeping this Natasha Denona Zendo palette. Super gorgeous palette. So keeping. Then I have two here from Rare Beauty. This one's called Come to Play. I'm going to pass this one on. This one's just not really one that I can see myself reaching for very often. And this shade here is kind of like a pressed glitter shade. I'm just not a big fan of that. I don't even know. I think I might have tried this one, maybe swatched it. I can't remember. I just know I'm not going to use it or reach for it, so I'm going to go ahead and pass this one on. And then I also think I'm going to pass on this one as well. This palette is called Magnetic Spirit palette. The packaging, don't get me wrong, is super, super pretty. But it's an all shimmer shade palette. And yeah, I just don't see myself reaching for this palette, so passing on. Alright, this is the last of it. This is the last stack. These are all that's left. Alright, so I have two here from Profusion. This is a collaboration they did with Mean Girls. I don't know if I want to get rid of these or not. This one's the Caddy Heron palette and the Regina George palette. I don't know. I mean, they're really cute palettes, and I remember liking them when I tried them out. I don't think I need both of them, so I think I'm going to get rid of this one, and I'm going to keep this one. So keeping the Regina George one, and then the Katie, I think it's Katie Heron. I'm going to get rid of this one. So getting rid of, keeping. Two more Tarte palettes that I'm going to be keeping. This is the Tarteist Pro palette, and then the Tarteist Pro Remix. So I'm keeping both of those. So this is what the Tarteist Pro looks like, and then here is what the Tarteist Pro Remix looks like. So keeping both. All right, let me get some more Colourpop ones out of the way. All right, keeping the Sailor Moon one here. Here's what it looks like. I'm keeping both the Kathleen Lights one because this is a collaboration that Kathleen Lights did with Colourpop a long time ago. Well, it wasn't super long ago, but you know, a while back. You can't get these anymore. They've been discontinued, and this one looks so dirty and gross, but I absolutely love this palette. I used the crap out of it when I first got it. That one has a pretty big dip in it. The shimmers don't look like it, but I use that shade a ton. I didn't use the Zodiac palette as much, but I still really love the packaging and just the look of the palette. So yeah, these are kind of like a collector's keeping palettes because you can't get them anymore. All right, 3 more palettes that I'm keeping from Colourpop. This one's called Plush Like Me. Keeping, I think, yeah, I haven't tried it yet. This one I didn't actually, I bought it, but it wasn't like, I got it in a mystery box. So that's what I mean by like I bought it, but I didn't know what I was getting kind of thing. I will say I'm not completely drawn to this palette because usually when I buy Colourpop palettes, it's because I like the look of them or something. And, you know, I bought them specifically because I wanted it. Whereas this one I got in a mystery box. And I wasn't mad about getting it in the mystery box, but I haven't tried it yet. So I'll hold on to it for now. But definitely looking at it, it's not really my kind of color story, but we'll see. Maybe I'll fall in love with it. I don't know. Then we have the Barbie Malibu palette here, keeping, and then the Limoncello one here. Ooh, if I can open it. Which is a very nice summer looking palette. Alright, so let me get some more Colourpops out of the way. I got a bunch of these little quads in their mystery boxes. They're very giving with the quads in their mystery boxes. This one's Creamsicle. This one is Feeling Coca Nutty. I think it's Asia Baby or something like that. Can't really see the name very well. Citrus Fizz, and then On the Mango. So keeping all those. Also keeping the Coast is Clear, and then Twist of Slate. And here's what it looks like. Alright, let's move on to these. La Rock, what are you called? I think it's just Pro Palette Artist Edition. I don't know. This one, I'm not sure about. It's a nice looking palette, don't get me wrong, but I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, I've seen these colors before. Let's be honest, I don't need this one, so I'm going to pass this one on. I know it probably doesn't look like it, but I'm actually doing a lot better than I thought I was going to do, to be completely honest. Alright, moving on. Alright, so I have 2 complex culture palettes that I'm going to be keeping. I don't know the names of them, so I'm just going to show you what they look like. So here's what this one looks like, keeping, and then here's what this one looks like, so keeping both. Alright, next up from Ciate London, we have this Spice palette. I recently got this in a BoxyCharm box. I will be keeping this one because it is new to my collection and I haven't gotten to use it yet. Let's go ahead and get some more Colourpop out of the way. So we have the Powerpuff Girls palette, keeping. I remember when I was a kid, Powerpuff Girls was all the rage. Super cute palette. Then I have the Mulan palette, definitely keeping. I don't think you can actually get this palette anymore. I think it's discontinued. Really pretty palette. And we have 2 of their Disney collabs. This one is their designer collection. Really cute. And then the Villains palette, which is just a super fun looking palette. Then I have the other Hocus Pocus palette. This is the Gather Around Sisters. I think this is the first one that they launched. And then the Sandstone palette, which I think has also been discontinued. Keeping those. Let me just get these last few Colourpop ones out of the way. So I have 2 of their little 5-pan shadows here. This is called SWAK, and this one is called Lyric. So keeping those. And then these 3, the Going Coconuts palette. Really great palette. The Grandeur palette. Super pretty. Ornate palette. This is great for fall, just really good. And then Coast to Coral. Alright, that's all the Colourpop ones, I promise. They're all gone now. Alright, so this is the last few that I have left. So, Beauty Creations Cali Chick palette. I really like this palette. I think it's perfect, another perfect fall palette, just really with the oranges and the warms. So I'm for sure keeping. I have this one here from Violet Voss. This is Olive You Forever. Super cute name. I don't know. I think I'm going to hold on to this one for a little bit longer, but I wouldn't be surprised if I got rid of it at some point. I really love all the greens in here. I don't know. I just don't know about this palette yet. I don't think I've actually tried it yet, but it looks kind of dark. Maybe that's what it is. Like the shades look really dark in here, but I'm going to keep it for a little bit longer. Then I have 2 here from Alani. So this is the Pure Passions palette I'm keeping. You can't get this anymore, and I really do like it a lot. Then I have this Gilded Gold one here. This one I'm not sure about. I don't think I need this one, honestly. Although it's really, really pretty. I don't need it. I don't need it. So I'm going to get rid of this one. So getting rid of this one and keeping this one. Alright, last 3. And I think I'm going to keep all 3 of them. So I have the Wanderer Beauty Wanderous Escape palette. Here's what it looks like. Keeping. Then I have the Latte 2 palette from Dominique Cosmetics. Keeping. And then last but not least, this Tress Loose palette, La Flor de Mexico palette. Keeping. Alright, so there you go. That is all the palettes. So now let me go ahead and count how many I'm keeping and how many I'm getting rid of. Alright, so I counted them up, and what I'm getting rid of is 11 palettes, and then I'm keeping 71 palettes. So I feel like I did pretty good today. I did have a goal, like I didn't say this in the video, but in my mind I was thinking if I can at least get rid of 10 palettes that I would be pretty happy with myself, and I got rid of 11. So yeah, I'm feeling good about myself. I did pretty good. But yeah, that is going to do it for today, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to give this video a big thumbs up because that really does help my channel. And also let me know down in the comments what you thought of my declutter today. But yeah, other than that, I hope you guys have a wonderful day and a wonderful week. And I will catch you guys in my next video. Bye!